Hi, I'm Jamey from Stonemaier Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in the game Dimension. This is a little bit of an older game at this point, but I had the pleasure of really reminding myself how much I enjoy the game at a game night recently. Here's what Dimension looks like in case you've seen it before. So it is a real-time, not dexterity game, but puzzle-solving game, real-time puzzle-solving game. Again, I played this years ago and just didn't do a video about it. I think that was before I was doing these videos, and I had the pleasure of playing very recently. So the idea in Dimension is over 6 rounds. You're going to reveal 6 cards to all players. So all players see the same 6 cards, which present a number of categories that they have to use to place these balls in a stack. So for example, these rules are saying, this one's saying that you can't have any ball on top of a black ball. All right, maybe I misread this, but this might be saying you can't have any ball other than a black on top of a black ball. This one's saying that all black and white, all white balls need to be touching a black ball, all black balls need to be touching a white ball. This one's saying that you need more orange balls than black balls. This one says that all greens need to be touching each other. You need exactly 2 black balls, and blues and oranges can't touch, is that goal. So in real time, you have 1 minute after you see these goals to stack your balls up in a stack like this. And you get different points based on how many balls you actually use, or really you lose points for every ball that you don't use. You're trying to use all 11 balls and have them meet all those goals. And you get some extra points if you use every color as well, even if you don't have a complete stack. But the thing that I think is really clever about this game, and it's kind of a no apologies design mechanism, is that these goals can contradict each other sometimes. And you have to figure out what's important to you in real time as for those goals. So for example, there could be a goal that comes out that you could have a card like this that says, let's do this one, that oranges must be greater than blacks. But I think that probably another card in the game that says that you need to have more blacks than oranges. Direct contradiction to one another. You need to choose one over the other. There are definitely some that are about touching. So even though this one says that oranges and blues can't touch, there definitely is another card that says, I'm 99% sure at least, that says that oranges and blues must touch. And so the decision there is, which one do I focus on? Do I focus on one over the other? Is there a way around it? Can I just not use any blues and not meet the color goal in the game? And that might be okay. But I love that the designer didn't try to finagle their way out of that. They kind of acknowledged, okay, you are going to have times where goals contradict each other. Go with it. In the moment, you have to go with it. You have to decide what's important to you. If there's a way out of it, if there's a way you can puzzle your way out of it, or if you just have to choose one over the other, and that's okay. I think there are other games that might have said, okay, if that ever happens, discard one of these cards, or it might have created goals that never contradict one another. I think this is actually more interesting to have these goals where it is completely random. You're not drawing from like 3 different decks of cards to ensure that they don't contradict each other. There's one deck of cards. You shuffle that deck and you might end up with contradictions, and that's okay. I think that's awesome. I think that's really, really cool. And the designer did that. It made the game, makes the game wacky. It makes it easier to set up and play because you're just shuffling one deck of cards. And it leads to some really fun moments in the game, in my opinion. So yeah, that is my favorite mechanism in Dimension, that there is a no apologies approach to goals that might contradict each other. They're all in the same deck. They might come out at the same time. I love that. If you think of any other games that do this, I'd love to hear your thoughts on them in the comments below.